I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. F*** it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go, Bill O'Reilly. It is another edition of the Daily Puck Drop on a Tuesday, January 6th. Welcome in, kiddos, one and all. We got lots to cover on Tuesday's Daily Puck Drop. We'll talk about Klint Kubiak. Is he leaving? The bald-faced truth. John Canzano, of course, is here. It's a Tuesday. We talk NFL and Seahawks with Danny Kelly from The Ringer. How did his stress watch of the Seahawks on Saturday night go for Danny Kelly? In Hey, What the Puck, we'll get to Matt Stafford and Drake May debate. I find it fascinating when it comes to the debate on the NFL MVP. All right. As always, we are brought to you by Limback Lumber. We're inside the Limback Lumber Studios. Contractors, they're going to help you out. You do-it-yourselfers, they're going to treat you the same there as well. They offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. They got the largest stock moldings in the Northwest. Old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Hear me out. You have any lumber needs, go to Limback Lumber down there in Ballard. They're going to take care of you. Tell them I sent you. They'll probably charge you more. But you know what? They'll do it with a smile. Guarantee that. 206-782-3487. Visit them at limbacklumber.com. Follow me on the social media platforms, Puck Sports everywhere, except for TikTok, which is Puck_sports. Also, you can find all of our stuff up at pucksports.com, including all of our shows that we do daily. Also, in addition to that, a link at the top of the website that will take you to the Puck's Posse page if you want to sign up, contribute to Puck Sports, to the daily content we do every single day for free, Monday through Friday. Plus, we give you some bonus shows throughout the week, like Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish. It's back on Wednesday. KJ Arntz with Mitch on Thursday. Reminder for that, it does air live during the Daily Puck Drop. It's just once the DPD is over, then the only way to access it is through the Puck's Posse membership. Also, the Sports Pit is back today, and it's back every single week. There is a slight change. It'll just be me and Stretch, really the headliners of the show anyways. We booted Sandmeyer out. We told him to pounce him. We said we couldn't deal with you anymore, Sandmeyer. No, Sandmeyer will be back periodically with Steve, but with his new job and things that are kind of taking up too much of his time, and then we just can't coordinate the exact right time to do it. So Stretch and I will continue to do it every single week. We've been talking about it for the last few weeks, and we just wanted to get through the holidays before we ramped it up again. But a new Sports Pit will come out every single Tuesday with myself and Stretch. And you know what? We're going to invite, we'll have special guests every single week there as well. So be on the lookout for that coming out later today. And again, all that stuff up at pucksports.com. All the members out there, big thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting. We'll try to do more and more content throughout the next year on that site as well. Just trying to balance how much free, how much do we want to make it paid. So there's a lot of work that goes into it, but I appreciate all the support there as always for all of you that are a Puck Sports member. Also reminds me that we have to at some point give out the January winner, the first one of 2026 in our Puck's Posse prize package. All right. Well, before we talk college football and get to John Canzano, the story out there with Klint Kubiak, he has been given permission by the Seahawks, or at least the Atlanta Falcons have sought permission to interview Klint Kubiak about their head coaching opportunity after they relieved Raheem Morris of his duties. We'll see. This is common. Should be. Kubiak's been a very good coordinator for a team that's second, third, I think, in overall scoring, total offense, all of that. I'd be curious to see if Aiden Dirty gets any calls. He is the in-name defensive coordinator, but as we know, Mike McDonald calls the defense. For Kubiak, great opportunity for him. If he wants to be a head coach, go let him be a head coach. I do feel that when the head coach of your football team needs to carry a certain demeanor, right? Has to have a certain, attitude about him and an aura about him. I'm not sure Kubiak's got that. Not sure he's got that juice. And so I'll be curious when he gets into these interview processes and sits down with these GMs and owners, how does he come across? Because when you hear him every single week do these press conferences, there's not a lot there. And I'm not saying you've got to win the podium. You've got to be some great guy that talks to the media, but you got to have a little something, a little juice. I'm not sure he quite has that. He might be best suited for just being kind of an assistant coach, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of guys that are great assistant coaches. Great, and maybe just not great head coaches. I think of Steve Spagnuolo, who calls the defense for the Chiefs. Just think he's a great defensive coordinator. You made him a head coach. Not sure if it would work out, but we'll monitor that there with Klint Kubiak to see how many more opportunities he may get. Maybe Atlanta's not the only one. Will Aiden Dirty get a sniff at all just because he's the defensive coordinator and has links there to Mike McDonald? So we'll get to all that coming up. Seahawks, of course, not much going on this week. Right? They got to wait. They're going to sit back, watch, see what happens this weekend. Clearly going to be a Packers fan, 49ers, anything and everything to avoid the Rams coming up there in that divisional round. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk college football. We do it every single week with our next guest, the one and only John Canzano's weekly appearance brought to you by the one and only Flat Stick Pub. If it's fun you desire, it's fun you're going to get at Flat Stick Pub. It doesn't matter what the occasion is, whether it's date night, guys night, ladies night, or large group event, Flat Stick Pub's got you covered. They have 6 great locations across the Pacific Northwest, from Pioneer Square to Kirkland, South Lake Union, Spokane, Bellingham, and Redmond. All locations offer the best pub experience in Washington. 2 rules at Flat Stick Pub: drink local and have fun. Pretty simple. So if you like to have fun, love local beer, and great tasting food, make Flat Stick Pub your next spot. Visit them at flatstickpub.com. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of college sports, the voice of humanity. It's John Canzano from johncanzano.com. Follow him on social media, John Canzano BFT. Look at his beautiful face on his YouTube page, John Canzano. Follow everything on all his podcast platforms. The John Canzano Empire. Is that what we're calling it?
I don't know. I'm now in charge of all of humanity. That's all I know now.
Yeah.
So
what's your first goal? What's your first in being in charge of humanity? Step 1 is what, John?
Be normal. That is the rule of our society. Be normal. And if you don't know what normal is, elbow somebody next to you and ask. What I mean by be normal is if you're in a gym and you're working out on gym equipment, get off your phone. Don't sit camping on your mobile device while somebody's milling around you. Second thing, if you are having a conversation and you are on FaceTime, you should not be in a public setting. You should not be at a concert, FaceTiming a concert. You should not be videotaping at a concert. You should try to hold a door open if you see somebody coming behind you. Let's try to be normal as a baseline in our society.
Let's let the person come off the elevator before we go onto the elevator.
Yes.
How about that?
I love that.
What do we feel about people that walk around public settings, let's say a grocery store, with the earbuds in, having a conversation?
I don't mind you having the earbuds in. I don't mind you being a little bit disconnected from what's going on, but I don't need to hear your conversation and your end of the conversation.
Yes.
Where are my earbuds? Why can't I, and by the way, here's another one. I have dogs. We have 3 dogs at our house.
Okay.
I don't bring them everywhere, Puck. And I know dog people.
You hear that, Jim Moore?
Like to bring their dogs everywhere. And it's fine to an extent. But I often find myself at like the local hardware store or whatnot going, what if we all brought our dogs?
Yeah.
This would be an absolute circus in this store.
Yeah.
So, bring your dog, but also be mindful of everybody else's experience.
Am I a bad dog owner, though? Sometimes I'll go to the store, let's say it's a grocery store, whatever, and then I tie the dog up outside. I feel sometimes people give me a dirty look. Why are you leaving the dog outside? I'm like, well, I don't really want to take him inside.
I got that at a Starbucks. I had a lady say, it's too cold for your dog to be outside. Yeah. And you should have a sweater or a jacket on that dog. And
a sweater or a jacket.
I said nothing. I had nothing. I had no response for that.
Jim Moore has volleyed in. He says, quote, piss off.
I don't mind you having your dog there, but I want you to ask yourself the question as you're in this crowded environment. What if we all brought our dogs? What would that be like? Just ask yourself.
Okay. What's worse? And then we'll move on to college football. Okay, hold on. The person that doesn't take their cart back, at the grocery store, back to the little spot where you take the carts back. They just leave it in the parking lot. Or the person that once we land on the plane, row 34 just sprints up to get past everyone.
Not a question. It's the airplane situation. Look, I worked at a grocery store when I was a teenager, and look, some of my best memories are running around that parking lot, collecting all those carts that were left on a 4th of July at 104 degrees. But on the airplane, can we act like, don't make the rest of us go, oh, first airplane trip when you're on an airplane. And if you're going through TSA and you have a giant bracelet on and a watch on and a belt on, you cannot be sitting in a situation there where you have to go through the metal detector, then back up, take off the bracelet, through the metal detector, back up, take off the watch. I don't want to be behind you muttering, first airplane trip.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. All right, let's get to some college football. You've got on the YouTube page, you got your sit down interview with Dan Lanning, head coach of the Oregon Ducks. We're taking on Indiana coming up on Friday. He said a lot in there. There was a lot that you guys covered, right?
Yeah.
From Daniel to Dan, from the coaching calendar, the playoff structure, college football round 2 against Indiana. What you sat down with him? You sat down with him many times. What would you take away from Dan Lanning? He's getting set for Indiana. Not only just thoughts on the Hoosiers game, but also his thoughts on how we can make college football better.
Well, I'm going to back up first because you know this better than anybody. It's a short week for Oregon. They're playing a game on Friday. So here's Dan Lanning on a Monday afternoon sitting down with me for 20 minutes for a one-on-one interview. It kind of caught me as, why is he doing this? Why does he have time for this interview? And I went back and I looked at, we do this like 4 or 5 times every season. I try not to have him every week. And so I try to mix it up. I'll have a coordinator, I'll have a player, I'll do, I like to mix up the interviews. But I looked back at the 4 previous times that Lanning came on with me like this and did these extended interviews. It was the Washington game, the UW game. That was a big game. It was the game at Penn State. It was the game at home against USC. And now the Indiana game. Now, he tends to come on with me in these big week moments. And I'm trying to figure out, is he just a guy who understands, hey, this is a big week, it's a platform, or is there something he's getting out of sitting down and kind of doing an interview that is a longer form interview and maybe taking a breath from his day? I don't know the answer to that, but I find that very interesting that on a short week on a Monday, Lanning did an interview with me. He did an interview with Jim Rome. He's kind of taking the platform, or maybe seizing the platform a little bit and doing some of these interviews. Second thing is he sounded super relaxed, but also simultaneously he's saying that, he's not sleeping much. I asked him a question. People thought it was kind of a weird question, but I had a reason for asking it. I asked him if he's dreaming lately. And I don't really care if he's having a dream about, a popsicle melting on the sidewalk or football dream or whatnot.
Not what he's dreaming about, John.
I just wanted to know if he was sleeping enough to have a dream. And so he said, no, he can't remember the last time he had a dream. And that tells me, along with the circles around his eyes, that he's not sleeping a lot. He's gone overtime with the portal. The portal's open. He's preparing for Indiana. This is a rematch of a game where this is their only loss of the season, and it was a decisive loss at home. I think he's got a lot on his mind. And so those were the 2 kind of 20,000 foot takeaways that I had. Other than that, look, I asked him, would he support kind of the NFL model of reseeding, or, should they be playing Indiana in this round, or should it be, should they be playing Miami or Ole Miss? And he says, no. He likes that the bracket gets set because they do advanced scouting. He said they had broken down all of Indiana's games. They had broken down all of Alabama's games a week ago. So they were ready for whoever won that game to come out sort of, hit the ground running, so to speak. So he does not support reseeding. He sounded a lot like I went into the interview thinking Oregon's going to get blown out. This is going to be a repeat of the 30-20 game at Autzen. And I left the interview thinking, what does he know? Because he sounded really confident. Talked about the game being 10-10 just before half, 20-20 in the fourth quarter. sounded to me like he's building a case in his mind for his team to win this game.
I do get a sense that some people look back at that game and go, God, it was just, Indiana dominated and it was not even a fair fight. I mean, it was 30-20, but you mentioned it was 20-20. There was 7 minutes left, 6 minutes left when I think Indiana scored the go-ahead touchdown. Then they had the field goal later. Now, listen, you watched that game, and from a physical standpoint, Indiana handled it. I mean, they did something to Oregon that normally Oregon does there to other teams, and we'll see if they can change that around. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they could do differently in that game, because Indiana, right, is just going to come in with the same game plan, and that same game plan is bully ball.
Other than an Oregon fan having their heartstrings tugged, I don't see anybody else who could reasonably say Oregon is going to win this game. Like, Oregon can win this game, but sure, you have a harder time building a case for it. But I'll try. Oregon is young. They've got guys on this roster, 18 and 19 years old, who have contributed this season. Their quarterback is 20. Their two tight ends are 20. They've got a defensive back who's a true freshman who had 2 picks in the quarterfinal round. This is a very young Oregon team that's probably here ahead of schedule. Like, next year is their year if Dante Moore comes back. Indiana is the oldest team in the bracket. They've got a 24-year-old running back, a 23-year-old running back, a 23-year-old Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Their receivers are 22 and 23. This is a very old Indiana team that is built for this moment. And so maybe the case that you're building is between September 27th and now, was there more growth for Oregon because they're younger? Did Oregon play a very vanilla game plan, knowing that, hey, a year ago they were undefeated in the 1 seed and they didn't want to be the 1 seed again? They wanted to be host an opening round game. So did Oregon go into that game and just play I'm not saying they threw the game, but were they okay losing that game? Like, down deep, were they okay going, all right, that's our one loss and we're good now? So I kind of look back at that and I go, aside from the physicality, which you cannot ignore, Indiana was better physically on both sides of the ball that day. Aside from that, did Oregon play that game kind of straight ahead? And will Indiana arrive at this moment with less growth over the last 6 or 8 weeks?
I think for them to win, one, they're going to have to get lucky. And lucky when I mean just the ball's got to bounce their way, right?
Yeah.
Mendoza's got to put it up in the air, gets picked off, or they fumble a snap, or they fumble a return. And then I think just Dante Moore has got to be the best player on the field. He just has to play elite, because that the elite quarterback play will trump sometimes in a huge game like this. A great defense. Well,
Mendoza threw a pick 6 in that first meeting, and so Oregon's defense made him a little uncomfortable. But keep an eye on Dante Moore's eyes. I saw this in the stadium that day. He got sacked on the first play of the game. His eyes are normally downfield. He's looking downfield where he can see Kenyon Sadiq running or DeCorian Moore or McClellan running a pass pattern, right? He's got great eyes down the field. In that Indiana game, Dante Moore's eyes were not down the field. His eyes were on Indiana's defensive front. And, defensive coordinators will tell you they love to see that, because the quarterback stops playing and is concerned about where's the pass rush coming from, where am I going to get hit. I thought that was Dante Moore's least impressive game. He looked at times like the quarterback that was at UCLA, 2 years ago. So keep an eye on his eyes. If his eyes are down early in this game, you'll see it. You'll see him kind of looking at the front and not looking downfield where his eyes should be.
All right, the other game is so much intrigue, right? It's Ole Miss, Miami, and it's Miami and Cristobal and all that. But to me, the focus is Ole Miss and this situation they got right now here with LSU. For people that don't know, the majority of their assistant coaches that are currently with the team at Ole Miss are going to LSU, including the offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr., the running backs coach, who both say that they will stay and they will coach the team. In fact, flying out today, I believe, with the team to go out there to Scottsdale. However, though, 2 other coaches have already said that they're not going. There's multiple other coaches who coached last week who are not going to coach this week, which is just odd, right? You've been the coach there. You've coached these kids. You're not going to see it through the national championship semifinals, and you're going to leave and go to LSU. it has led to just this, as one can imagine, widespread speculation of tampering by these coaches to the current players on the roster, with the running back, with the quarterback, who, by the way, the last 24 hours both re-signed with Ole Miss. How do you handle this, though, this situation? It's just a complete mess for Ole Miss, and it's unfortunate for the school, their alums, and the players.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss has got obviously some distractions that Miami does not have. Mario Cristobal is locked in. Miami is locked in. They looked very physical in winning their quarterfinal game, and I expect that to continue. Ole Miss is fun and dangerous, and they've got a quarterback who's super creative and interesting, and that game I think is going to be wild and fun. But I just think there's too much distraction at Ole Miss, and I also think that the questions about can they win without Lane Kiffin, they answered that. They answered that in knocking off a team that nobody picked them to beat at the beginning of the season. And it was such an impressive feat for them to get to this semifinal round. They have a little bit of a feel to me of a team that's happy to be there and maybe not as locked in. I think Miami advances on that side of the bracket. I think it's going to be an all Adidas final. If it's Indiana and Miami, the Nike honks are going to hate it. But I give Oregon a better shot of beating Indiana than I think Ole Miss has of beating Miami. I think Miami's going to win.
If there's anything right in this world, right, as you now being the president, CEO of humanity, if there's anything right, then Ole Miss wins the whole thing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The whole freaking thing. So Lane Kiffin, so they can sit back and go, wasn't about him, was about us, was about our players, and he has to sit and wear it and taste it. Now, the other part of it is he probably gets a bonus, though.
Don't you think they've proven that already? Because
yeah, but I want him to prove it further. I want a championship. I want a parade. I want him to sit back in Baton Rouge and go, no, and have regret.
Yeah, but he's not, because his contract with LSU includes a bonus if Ole Miss wins the national championship. I
know, but I guess the money he'll get paid, and maybe it won't bother him, but to sit there that he can't be a part of that championship parade.
Well, and that it's not him. And I think, Ole Miss's interim coach said this. I was surprised to hear him say this, that, it wasn't Lane Kiffin's offense. It was Charlie Weiss who was calling the plays in that last game, and the offense looked terrific. And so he said he knew that the offense would show up because everybody was saying it was Lane's offense. Yeah. But I just think there's kind of a ceiling that we create and we can see for all teams. And Ole Miss, to me, is hitting its head against the ceiling right now. And I think Miami can get to the title game, but I don't think Miami can beat either Indiana or Oregon. I think the national championship game is the Peach Bowl. I'll be there, and I'm eager to see if Oregon can pull a rabbit out of its hat, because if there's one thing I would say about Dan Lanning in this game is that he's going to have that team believing it can win, even if you've got Kirk Cignetti and Indiana and how great they looked against Alabama, bunch of guys, with beards and kids in college on that other sideline. That Indiana team is old. But I think, the 19 and 20-year-olds at Oregon might not know any better. They might not know they're supposed to lose this game.
You wrote up at johncanzano.com, and if people are not subscribers, great way. You just got a bonus. It's the new year, right? 2026. You got a lot of money from your new company. Why don't you go spend the money on a subscription to johncanzano.com. You wrote last week, Pac-12 isn't finished expanding. This will be an ongoing story. And the athletic directors that you've talked to tell me that the 2026 football schedule is being viewed as a one-season, one-off. They'd prefer to have 9 football playing members in 27 and beyond. So what do we know? What's the future, you think?
Well, right now they were waiting to see two things. One, they're looking at the selection committee to see what did the selection committee do as it pertained to strength of schedule. How much did these other conferences get penalized or helped by virtue of their non-conference schedules? Because the Pac-12's got a little bit of a problem, or an opportunity, however you want to view it, in 26, this first season coming up. They've got 8 football playing members. That leaves you 7 conference games. So do you play the home and home like Washington State and Oregon State did? It's a little hokey. Yeah. Or do you go out and do you try to find everybody find a 5th non-conference game? Or do you get with the Sun Belt Conference and say, let's do some crossover and prove that we're the better conference? So they were looking at the selection committee to see what did they do when they picked the teams. So that's one set of data point. Then the second one is, here comes January 23rd, and you're going to get this college football playoff executive committee they're going to get together and decide, are they expanding to 16? Are they expanding to 24? Does it include extra berths for the group of 5 or group of 6? Does it have automatic qualifiers? They're waiting to see these two things before they decide, do they go with a home and home or do they go with the other thing? So that's one thing that the conference is focused on. But yes, they would love to have another football playing member in 27, whether that's a school like UNLV, can they get UNLV? Can they get someone else? Or is it a football only edition, to be determined? But I don't think that they're going to ideally want to have 8 football playing members in 2027. The other piece, that you reference on just sheer expansion is, look, they're good for 2026. It's too late to onboard schools for 26. But this is an ongoing conversation, and they're looking for opportunities. They're going to tell you, oh, no, we're good. We're good at where we are with Gonzaga plus 8. But I think they ideally want another school or maybe 2 schools in basketball so that they can play as a 10-member conference. They're also looking at conference championship games, Puck. I kind of think they're leaning towards the football championship being the highest seed hosts, because I think they want to position their best team for inclusion in the playoff, give them the home field advantage in the conference championship game. It makes sense if you're Washington State, you're the 1 seed, you want to be at home, just to sort of position yourself the best you can to get into the playoff. You don't want to lose that conference championship game. And then in basketball, I think they're going to Vegas. I think you and I are going to Vegas, and we're going to watch the Pac-12 play conference tournaments in Vegas. They haven't announced it, but that is what all of the ADs are telling me. They would love to be in Vegas for the basketball tournament.
Any more smoke on the St. Mary's coming as a basketball only?
It's just been really quiet. I think St. Mary's desperately wants to be in the conference. I think, the WCC gets annoyed at me. Stu Jackson got mad at me because last time I wrote, like, if I'm St. Mary's, I get out and I try to, announce that I'm expanding my home arena. The home basketball arena is the big problem. It's the sticking point. The secondary sticking point is that people look at St. Mary's and they think, well, without Randy Bennett, are they St. Mary's? What happens if he leaves? Does St. Mary's fall off? It's such a small school. So, the president at St. Mary's has done a really good job. Roger Thompson, he's a former, administrator at Oregon. He's done a really good job of positioning St. Mary's the best they can, but they've got a small gym, and it is a gym, it's not an arena, that they need to turn into an arena if they want to be seriously considered for the Pac-12. And, from a basketball standpoint, their net ranking in the last 5 years is fantastic. They got a great program. Do they have a contingency plan beyond Randy Bennett? Those are 2 questions they've got to answer. But right now, they're in a holding pattern, and the Pac-12 is acting like, we like you, but we don't love you. And I think, they need to address those 2 issues if they want to fall in love.
I'll give you a last one. We come full circle on people, right? We talked about people that don't return their shopping carts, the person that gets off the plane before everyone else.
Rude.
Where do we stand with people at movie theaters? You pick up your own damn trash.
Yeah.
I know there's someone there to clean it up, but you just don't lay it on the ground.
Just be normal. Be normal. How hard is that? I come back to that all the time.
Hard for a lot of people, John. It's hard for a lot of people to be normal.
Just be normal. And if you're not sure, ask the person next to you. Is this normal? Like, I just throw my stuff on the ground. Is it normal that I jump up and try to run from row 35 to the front and get in front of everybody? Is it normal to bring all 3 of my dogs to the grocery store? Is it is it normal? I got an issue in the gym that happened the other day. And you tell me, I don't want to be a Karen, but let me just throw this at you. My gym has a policy that if you are an adult and you bring your kid into the weight area, your kid has to be 12 or older to be along with mom or dad.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Do you? There's also a policy that says kids unattended without a parent have to be older than 14. Cool with that. Clearly, there was a guy in the gym the other day that wanted to work out. He was a dad, and I empathize with him because he was, he probably was in bad need of a workout. Kids are out of school still. He had a 6 and a 7-year-old in there working out with him. And I'm cool with it, except the 6 and the 7-year-old were climbing on the weight racks, climbing on the squat rack. It was a jungle gym situation. Broke out.
I thought you were going to have like another Marinovich situation on your hand.
No.
Like he's got that kid. He's got the 6 and 7-year-old out there bench press and doing squats.
No, but
doing HGH.
The gym staffer walked over to dad.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, these kids can't be in here unless they're 12. And the dad, straight face, said, they're 12. They weren't 12. Where do you stand when we go to a restaurant?
Yeah.
I have an 11-year-old. If the children's menu says 10 and under,
yeah,
I feel bad with the 11-year-old ordering the kids' meal. So I will say, hey, she's 11. Is it okay? Like, I don't want to, that's not the lie I want to die on the hill
I think it's a white lie that you can get away with that saves a few bucks.
I think if you're just honest, they'll be good with it. I'd rather just have that peace of mind as I'm digesting my food that I didn't teach my kid to lie in order to save
here's the point,
$4.99.
The butter noodles for the kids are $4.99. When you upgrade it to the adult one, it's $17.99. So
just ask the server. Say, hey, she's 11. Is it okay? The server's like, it's good. Yeah,
probably.
Clear conscience. Right. Clear conscience.
Godspeed, Mr. Humanitarian. We'll talk to you next week. There is John Canzano. JohnCanzano.com. Go read all of his work there. Also, check out his YouTube page, John Canzano, and also find all of his podcasts, all of his interviews, including the sit down there with Dan Lanning, is available on all podcast platforms. Just search John Canzano on Apple and Spotify. Again, remember, he's done with radio. It's off radio. The Bald-Faced Truth going to YouTube exclusively right now. All right, we switch gears over to the NFL and, of course, our coverage of the National Football League. Brought to you by really the greatest brewery that's ever been invented, Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Now we talk NFL, the playoffs. He said he was fully confident that the Seahawks would walk into San Francisco and come away with the victory. He was not nervous at all. He didn't binge eat. He didn't binge drink. He said to himself, I'll probably take a nap in the second quarter. That's how confident I am that the Seattle Seahawks will get it done against the Niners. Why would anyone sweat the Seahawks and the 49ers? Mr. Relaxing himself, Danny Kelly from The Ringer. All things NFL, they're at The Ringer. Danny Kelly. Hello, Danny.
What's up, man? I think you could go back and check the tape. I definitely said that I was super confident the Seahawks were going to win. I had no doubt in my mind that Sam Darnold was not going to turn the ball over. It was going to be a really clean game from him. Had no doubt about that. Had no doubt that the defense was going to completely shut down one of the hottest offenses in the NFL. I did say for the record that I thought the Seahawks would win. So at least there's that. But your point is taken. I was very stressed throughout that.
When did Danny Kelly finally relax?
Some point in the third quarter, I think I was like, yeah, the 49ers can't do anything. They just their offense just wasn't working. I think actually it must have been when they had that interception in the red zone. I was like, okay, that's going to be their last good shot there.
That was like fourth quarter. You mean Drake Thomas?
Fourth quarter, whatever it was. Yeah.
You blacked out all Saturday. You couldn't remember. That probably was when I felt, actually, no. I'll be honest. I didn't even feel okay then.
Really?
It wasn't until Darnold's rollout on 3rd and 10 and hit Cup for 20.
That was just like the weirdest game because at the same time, I felt confident. I felt like the Seahawks were in complete control, but like the score was just so nerve wracking. They just kept blowing it. Friggin' the kicker missed 2 easy kicks, or not easy kicks, I guess, but like kicks that he normally would hit.
Kicked one out of bounds. He was up all night down in San Francisco, boozing and doing drugs. I don't know what he was doing, but
just hanging out.
Clean it up, Myers.
A bizarre game from that point of view. But this was like the Seahawks dominated. It really did feel like a dominant performance.
I know, but all that was, you're like me, because I'm like, they're dominating this game. I put out a meme of the great movie Rounders, just keep hanging around. All that game needed was some blown coverage, and McCaffrey is going on some wheel route down the sideline, and all of a sudden it's a tied game or a 3-point game. And then I'm thinking, here's Darnold's sphincter right now. And then the second it comes a close game is tight. And oh God, he's avoided all these turnovers. They played clean. And then something spooky is going to happen. But
yeah. Here in the immortal words of Pete Carroll, R.I.P. the Raiders coach Pete Carroll. He's not actually dead, but
is it? No, he's not. First of all, breaking news: Pete Carroll not dead.
Not dead.
He's just got
in the immortal words of Pete Carroll, toughen up. You're gonna have to toughen up, pal. It's funny how things change so much. They stay the same. Like the Seahawks, the version of the Seahawks now is so similar in so many ways to like the LOB version of the Seahawks, where
it's exactly the same.
It's like run the ball, play our style of defense. We're okay with playing it close, like having a close
special
game.
teams.
Don't
turn it over.
Yeah. I will say I was stressed during that game. And it was like a stressful experience, but I felt pretty confident throughout the whole game that they were going to win it because, I mean, look, this was the literal worst or maybe second worst game offensively of the Shanahan era in San Francisco. Yeah. They scored 3 points at home in a game that was going to give them the number 1 seed and home field through the playoffs. And so there was a lot on the line and they completely imploded offensively. They didn't do anything. So I think that's like something great to take from this. I thought it was great to see the Seahawks run game doing so much. I obviously I would have loved if the game was like 26-3 or whatever it would have been if they would have just like,
and it should have been,
punched the ball in on first down or whatever on that first
throw
drive.
it to a guy that's wide open. I still don't understand when he looked at him and he's like, he's not open. I'm upset about that, but also like if you want to not like throw a pick at the goal line, that's fine. Like if he's worried. He was there was no one.
No, I'm
there.
just saying, like if he has a fear that he's gonna throw the pick, I'm not gonna get mad at him for for eating it. It was a weird turn down, and he like should have obviously thrown that pass. But I've been complaining about him passing into tight windows too much this year, and so I'm gonna let that one slide. I think at the end of the day, they had a touchdown there. They should have just, if they're gonna go for it on 4th down, just run it 4 times.
Right.
I don't understand why. Like you're at the 1 yard line. With
got too cute. I thought they got too cute.
I mean, they were running it at will on that drive. Why even put it into Darnold's hands that point?
And it's the tone and it's the message, right? We've just run it down your throat whole way down the field in this winner take all game. We're now going to just run it down your throat, score,
do the tush push 4 times. The tush push is going to be gone next year. Get
fine. Just do whatever. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity. But you're right. They left 13 points. They're on the table.
I thought so. Yeah, obviously the touchdown plus 2 field goals that they should have made. So like in reality, this felt more like a 26-3 game than it actually 13-3. It kind of came down to the end there, whatever it was, 16-3. But I think 13-3. Yeah, 13-3. I do think I came away from that game like encouraged a lot, based on like what the Seahawks were able to do defensively, especially. I mean, like the way that they shut down the Niners in their stadium, the way that they were able to bottle up Brock Purdy. I mean, like Brock Purdy, if you look at his passing chart, it looked like something, out of like a Bryce Young game. It was just like all
check down
swing passes and check downs and like nothing in the middle of the field, nothing deep. So they did a great job of shutting everything down. Kenneth Walker looked great. Charbonnet looked great. Darnold didn't turn the ball over. There's a lot of positives.
He tried to one time, but
you can't. A leopard doesn't change its stripes, so to speak.
Here's the thing with the Darnold drinking game of maybe he'll turn it over or not. We needed it. Wouldn't be a Seahawks game or a Darnold game if there just wasn't something.
Yeah, I know.
Like I go into every game just expect there's gonna be something where I'm gonna be like, oh god,
it's the thing.
That was it.
He's capable of making the most insane passes you've ever seen in your life, but he also like tweaks out once or twice a game.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the story with him.
How about Grey Zabel just bitch slapping everybody the entire game? He just was a warrior. He was the number one player this last weekend, I think.
Yeah, according to PFF, he had the number 1 overall grade of any player.
Isn't it so nice to have just a dominating offensive lineman?
Oh my God, it's so nice. Yeah, they got, it's Grey Zabel's been transformative. My co-host Danny Heifetz made the case the other day that he should be the offensive rookie of the year. He's not going to win it because it's a guard, but he's been really, really important for that unit.
Well, stop there. Okay, you're right, and it's not going to happen. I think but I don't know if you watched the Rose Bowl. between Indiana and Alabama. Did you know who
I
was
watched parts of it till it was a blowout.
Did you know who the MVP was?
Who?
It was a guard.
Yeah.
They gave it to an offensive lineman. And it was great. I mean, the place went nuts because if you watch that game, the game was won because of Indiana's offensive line and this particular guard. They dominated the line of scrimmage, and it allowed Mendoza to have a good game. It allowed the running game to have, put up numbers, but it was their offensive line. So I feel this way about a lot of awards. I hate the Heisman Trophy now, and I've hated it forever because it's just a quarterback award. It's nothing else. It's never given to the best player in college football. The MVP is the same deal in the NFL. It's never given to the best player in the league. It's given to who's the best quarterback.
Who's the best quarterback on a number 1 or number 2 seed team?
So offensive rookie of the year. If we did poll, this would be a great exercise at the Ringer. We polled like a bunch of executives. Actually, this might be too highbrow for you guys at the Ringer. This is like
we're not interviewing GMs.
Yeah, who do you think this is a Sando project. This is what this is, right?
Yeah.
Of who is the most impressive offensive rookie. And I'd love to see where Grey Zabel would fall. Now, you know these guys better than I do. I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you who the leading offensive rookie of the year candidate is.
So right now, and you can tell me how you react to these. Teteroa McMillan is number 1. He went over 1,000 yards on a team with, quarterback by Bryce Young. I actually think he deserves to win it the most.
He did. Now, I would just say you've seen a lot more of him. I don't watch any of the, Panthers. I mean, red zone. I watched him against Seattle. Did nothing. I mean, was a non-factor. But
I will say this. I think Teteroa McMillan has lived up to the hype, in terms of the clutch plays that he's made. His ability to come in and be immediately a number 1, that's not an easy thing to do. And if you take into account, like, Bryce Young has been all over the place as a passer this year, like absolutely all over the place. Okay. I think he deserves it. I mean, going over 1,000 yards as a rookie is not it's not a common thing. Sure. That's pretty rare. There's only been, I think, like, I saw a stat the other day. It was like 12 guys that have done that as a rookie. So, in the modern era.
Yeah.
So, like, that's obviously an impressive thing to do. From him, after him, Jackson Dart. I think he's been too all over the place. Too many injuries. He's on a really horrific team right now.
So he's the second one?
Yeah. According to FanDuel's odds right now, which is which I'm looking at. Okay. So it's like Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck are the 2 next guys. Okay. So let's just stop. Though they're out. So it's McMillan, but it's McMillan and Zabel. We're making the case today for Grey Zabel to be the offensive rookie not even
of the
on
year.
Here. Zabel's not even on the odds.
Well, after people watch and listen to this, Danny, he's gonna be.
We're gonna let's get this going.
Okay. You are more into like the analytics, the DVOA, PFF, all that. Is there a metric that we can compare the two in a weird way of like their impact on the team, like Grey Zabel versus McMillan, and what their offensive impact to the team means?
Well, that's a good question. Let me see here. I want to just pull this
how in baseball they've got WAR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Replacement.
Right. What's the equivalent to? Is there an equivalent? And I should know this. What's the equivalent to WAR in football?
EPA is like probably the closest that you get, but that's kind of like a team stat. And I don't really know, honestly. Like, I'm looking at, like, right now, the Seahawks this season were 4th in success rate, which says a lot about like how their offense just went down to down, play to play. I'm going to look at what they were last year because I want to compare it. Last year,
this is going to catch fire, what we're doing right now.
Last year they were 15th. So I mean, 15th to 4th, and I think a lot of that has to do with the play calling, which I think Klint Kubiak's been awesome, and I think a lot of it has to do with the offensive line being better. Obviously, the quarterback making good decisions, usually, but yeah, I think the EPA per play and success rate, those are kind of like the football version, DVOA football versions of WAR. I think some people do like a WAR thing, but it's usually like skill players get that.
Yeah, I would imagine that would just be for receivers and running backs and quarterbacks, but there's got to be something out there where you can equate off also offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. Do you have the like PFF available? Like where does Zabel, and again,
let me pull it up.
I have a love-hate with them, more hate than anything, but for this, if it's in favor of Zabel, this will be a lot of love.
I think PFF is really useful, honestly. I think
Okay.
obviously you have to take into account that it's being graded and there's some subjectivity there. But I mean, like, no one else has anything close to like what they do in terms of metrics and stats and things like that.
And people and to back them up, to back up what you just said, every one of these teams in the league uses it.
Yeah.
They all use it. I want to know where he would rank among guards and linemen, and then would rank among rookies.
So right now he's overall grade. I don't think he's good. He didn't have like a great graded season according to PFF. He was number 80 among guards.
Well, shit.
So that doesn't like live up.
That doesn't bode well for our case for offensive rookie of the year.
But again, I think if you look at like sort of just the holistic thing of everything that happened this year in terms of their offensive line, how it gelled together, they were much more healthy on the offensive line. So that helped a lot. But yeah, I mean, he according to PFF, he didn't grade out like all that great. He graded really, really well. The last week, obviously, the last 2 weeks, he's been good.
Okay, let's just use that then.
But yeah, according to their grading system,
okay,
which he can take or leave.
All right. Well, we needed that to be good because that would give us the numbers to back up our claim.
You're trying to build a narrative and then find evidence.
Well, I would just say that. Yeah,
I think the eye test is different though, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean the eye test to me, they needed someone to complete that line, and it's still not complete, right? There still is an issue at right guard. He has come in, and I think he has stabilized, that group. Mm-hmm. He had to sit there with Charles Cross to put up the season he's had to put up next to the situation he had at guard, right, with the injury to Sundell, then Oluwatimi, then back to Sundell. He's had to go up against some really critical, interior defensive linemen. He's held his own, I think, in those situations. I haven't seen him too many times where he's just got beaten. And their offense, he's I think a key cog in what their offense has been able to do. It's not just him, and you mentioned it earlier. It's Kubiak and it's Sam Darnold and all that. But I think there's got to be a good degree of of what Zabel has done along with the other group on the line that has benefited everyone.
I will say this: he only gave up 2 sacks all year, according to PFF, and those 2 sacks came against the Rams in Week 16. So like he literally had only one game where he gave up a sack.
How many pressures?
Let's see here: 24 pressures over the course of a whole season. Not that many. That's not that bad. His pass blocking efficiency has been pretty solid. I think, I don't know exactly how they grade this in terms of, and a lot of it is you're kind of assuming what the assignment is, which can kind of get sticky. You don't exactly know what he was asked to do in certain situations, but yeah, at the end of the day, he only gave up 2 sacks all year, which I love.
Okay. I'm doing it right now. What should be our hashtag? Zabel for offensive player of the year. That's
we find long. Like a good pun here. Let's see here. Zabel. Zabel for MVP. Zabel MVP. Zabel. I don't know.
But he's not MVP, right? Rookie of the year. I'll just say
Zabel OROY.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a strong ring to it.
OY. Wait. Yeah. Offensive rookie of year. Yes. All right. I had to make sure. Hell, I'm coaching basketball last night, and I'm putting up on the whiteboard for our middle school team, and I'm like, attitude and effort. And I realized I misspelled attitude.
Did anybody call you on it?
I caught myself, but as I was like writing, I'm like, that's not how you spell it.
Man, how many times have you actually written using like a pen in the last?
It's I try to actually. It's funny. I try to write a lot. I really do. I try to write notes and stuff every day, so I don't lose that. I'm trying to get my kids to do it. My kids are done. I mean, they couldn't. I will look at their pen right now. And I'm like, that looks like a 2-year-old did that.
Yeah,
it's awful. All right, 2 sacks all year, 24 pressures. Hashtag Zabel OROY.
Get it going.
All right, we'll see. I mean, it's a tough hill. We need somebody. Do we have any positive people on these talking head shows? Do we have any? How about we get what's his name? The Colts guy. What's his name? He's on all the screaming shows.
The Colts guy?
Yeah,
Dan Orlovsky?
No, the center. Who's the center?
Oh yeah, what is his name? He was the head coach for a day.
Jesus,
for a minute.
What
here.
are we?
Saturday, Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday. Saturday will get on board on this.
Yeah, sure. He's offensive line minded. Absolutely.
And then what's the Baldinger? Baldinger will eat this.
Baldinger. I mean, go look up it. I think he was like singing Zabel's praises recently.
Oh yeah, he was.
With one of his
everybody is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Give me this would be great. First offensive lineman to ever win it.
There's no chance. There's no chance.
Well,
it's gonna be Tedero McMillan. Yeah.
I know, but I just want one time. I want those big guys to finally get rewarded. Let's look ahead. Obviously, we've got to be this week, Danny. Mm-hmm. Everybody is going to be a Packers fan. Everybody is probably going to be a Niners fan this week. We want to avoid the Rams. I mean, that would just be the kiss of freaking death to see the Rams in the divisional round. I don't want to see it at all.
Yeah.
We'll save it for later, but do not want to see it in the divisional round. Lesser of two, who would you prefer? Mm-hmm. Would you prefer a Packers coming to Seattle or a Niners rematch?
Oh, man. I mean, I think the easy answer is based on what we saw from the 49ers this last game. I'd probably rather play the 49ers, but like when you mess with divisional games, it's like anything can happen. I just don't really like that. So I think Packers.
Okay.
I think Packers. They're pretty beat up right now. I think they lost 5 straight games to finish the season. The vibes are not super strong right now with them. And I don't like messing with the division teams, man. They just know each other too well. I feel like anything can happen. It'd be the rubber match with either the Rams or the 49ers. Mm-hmm. So don't love that. Yeah. Who do you like? Who would you rather?
I would rather face the Packers. I mean, ideally in a perfect world, that it would be the Packers knocking off the Bears and coming in with, again, no Parsons, a banged up Love, and they haven't played really great, since they got off to that great start. I think it's a very winnable game. I think fans get a little blinded by the mystique of the Green Bay Packers. I don't think that would be the case here. I mean, Jordan Love is a very good quarterback. I'm with you. I mean, second would be the Niners. I don't want to see the Niners, and I know you handled them this a week ago, or it would have been 2 weeks, prior. But again, it's a divisional opponent. It's Kyle Shanahan. They got a lot of pride and all that.
Yeah, I don't love that. Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I just don't want to see the Rams.
Any world in which the Panthers beat the Rams.
They beat them in the regular season, so I guess they can. But I mean, they're the large. And here's the thing: is they're the largest dogs of the weekend. I mean, the Rams are favored by 10.
I mean, they're on the Panthers. I was saying this the other day. The Panthers. I've never seen a team eke their way into the playoffs in a more embarrassing fashion than the Panthers did. They lost 3 of their last 4 games, including the game that would have sent them to the playoffs. They went 7 and what are they? 7-9? No, 8.
8-9.
8-9. I'm always like, I can never do the math anymore.
They're like the Seahawks when the Seahawks won the division with Pete Carroll, and then knocked off the Saints.
The Seahawks had so much better vibes. I felt like maybe that's just me being too close to it, but I mean, the Panthers just eked their way. That was just pathetic getting into the playoffs.
They don't look good. Yeah, it's a real shit way.
Remind me what happened. Didn't the Seahawks actually win with a week 17 game to get into the playoffs? Like I feel like it was like a game a go.
Who was the quarterback, Danny?
Matt Hasselbeck? You talking about who they were playing?
No, who was the quarterback for the game they needed? They played the Rams.
Yeah, I thought that. I remember that.
Okay. Who did they? I'll pull up the box.
Was it Charlie?
Yes, it was.
Charlie.
Charlie, look at that. Your pops. Yep.
Charlie Pops.
Charlie. What year was that?
That was 2010. Seahawks beat the Rams 16-6. I'm looking at the game book now. Wow, this is like a way back thing.
Look at that.
Sam Bradford was the Rams.
What did Whitehurst do?
Whitehurst 22 of 36, 192 yards and a touchdown.
Damn right. Hey, rushed for 32. He rushed for 30.
Ben Obamanu 35
Ben
catches
Obamanu.
for 39 yards.
But he didn't lead the
Ruvel
Martin.
I was going to say, who's our Martin?
Ruvel Martin led them in receiving yards that day with 83. Ruvel Martin out of
Wazoo? I don't know.
Johnson and Wales.
I've literally never heard of that place.
Never heard of him.
Leon Washington had a punt return. Wait, no, he didn't. No, never mind. I thought he had.
What a team! What a game! I remember that was Sunday night
Wait,
football.
Where was Hasselbeck? Was he hurt? Forgot what happened.
Yes,
there. Maybe he had like a hand thing or something.
Hold on. Why did Charlie Whitehurst? Okay, now we're gonna go down this. What is this?
This is fun though. This is hilarious.
Hold on. 2010.
Wow.
Rams Seahawks end of the year game. All right, come on, Gemini, do your thing.
So while you're doing that, yeah, you had Leon Washington had 3 catches for 24 yards. Ben Omamanu. So their leading receivers were Obumanu, Ruvel Martin, and Leon Washington. Good God. And then we had Marshawn Lynch with 75 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Why did I don't want the recap? I want 2010 Rams in regular season. Why did
Wow, 2010. This is a long time ago.
Because I want to know why Hasselbeck didn't play. Why? You know what? So I bet you somebody in our YouTube chat knows. They'll pull it up better than we can.
Come on. Ask Gemini. Did you already ask Gemini?
I asked Gemini. Gemini's not giving me
nothing.
What
nothing
I want.
Useful.
Hold on. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Gemini did. He responded. If Gemini's a he, Gemini could be a woman. Sure. Started for the injured Matt Hasselbeck, but why was it Hasselbeck injured? I don't know. Tell me why he was injured.
Google Week 17 2010 injury report.
Week 17, 2010. Matt
Seahawks injury
Hasselbeck injury. Why did he
How
not?
Can we
come
not
on,
remember
Gemini.
this? Come on.
I don't know, Danny. It was that long ago. He suffered a hip strain during the Week 16 game against the Bucks, injuring himself on a touchdown run, which sidelined him from a crucial Week 17 game against the Rams. He was determined to play but couldn't, leading Charlie Whitehurst.
Anyway, that tangent was brought to you by the Seahawks. At least won their game that sent them to the playoffs. It was a win and in situation. The freaking Panthers lost theirs.
Fair point.
Anyway, I just feel like the Seahawks are less pathetic. Also, they got the win in the wild card round,
I kept
the Beastquake.
I kept typing into Gemini Week 17. There was no Week 17. Moron. Week 16.
There was no Week 17.
No, wasn't there? No, not back in 2010, was it?
Now we have Week 18.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because we had a bye. Everybody has buys. 16-game season with a bye. I'm the same way though, man. Like when they changed the number of games, I can no longer remember. How to make 17. My math is horrific.
You should get Whitehurst on the show one time.
What's he doing these days? Probably just
that would be great. You know what? Hold on, let's ask Gemini again.
Yeah.
Gemini, what is Charlie
Clipboard
Whitehurst
Jesus
doing now? It already knew.
You know what? I can tell you.
Well, I got a great picture of him.
You know what I found recently?
Look at this guy.
You know what fact I found out recently? You remember the singer Jewel?
Did he marry Jewel?
He dated her at the very least for a while.
Jewel was kind of sneaky hot too.
Yeah.
She was. I think she got some stuff done, but back in the day, Jewel was kind of hot. Yeah, was kind of a smoke show. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you. Look at Charlie White.
Dated for 2 years.
Look at him. Look at Charlie Whitehurst, man. He looks like a,
never change.
Has a brand new country folk R&B album or blues album coming out in Nashville.
He's selling crystals on Etsy for $250 a pop,
and sleeping with all these 35-year-old
all the women in Scottsdale just absolutely love Charlie Whitehurst.
According to Gemini, Whitehurst retired from football, enjoying hobbies like hunting, working on old cars, and following Clemson football.
He's just living
a relaxed life focused on personal interest after his long career in the NFL. He stays busy with football-related activities, including watching his nephew play Pop Warner.
Where's he live? Where is he? That's what I got to find out.
Enjoys hunting in states like Utah and Texas and working on classic cars. Fuck yeah.
Let's see here. He says he's lived in Green Bay for various times in his post-career. That's interesting.
He looks like, you're right, sells crystals on Etsy and makes a lot of matcha.
Oh, he grew up in Green Bay. That's why. Okay, so he just went home.
Does he look like someone that like plants a flag in Green Bay?
God. He looks like somebody who grew up in Green Bay and then went away to college.
You remember when Lynch was being interviewed by the guy from USA Today?
Charlie Pops? Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
What was that guy's name? John Canzano or something?
I don't know.
He was a USA Today football reporter, but popular.
Mm-hmm.
And Lynch was like, he's like, what? He's like, Charlie Pops? Is this your Pops? Oh, that was one of.
We got to live through some of the great years of the Seahawks, man.
Yes, we did. Fun. Didn't we?
We sure
some
did.
of the
good old
stuff.
days. I mean, we're back. We're back to the good old days now.
We are back to
There's
the good
Charlie
old days.
Pops.
Hold on. I was gonna pull up.
Wait, he thought the reporter was Charlie Pops. That's what it was.
I practiced this week, so
yeah.
You know, we stressed all week that if we do what we had to do, we would come out victorious, and that's pretty much what we did. Thought you was Charlie, man.
You could have said worse.
I did. I was like, what Charlie doing with this mic in my face, man? Charlie, is this your Pops right here, man?
Is this your
Charlie Pops over here?
Oh God, Marshawn, you're the best. Have you seen the video? Okay, well, I'll let you go. I'm gonna get your predictions here in a second for the games.
Right.
Have you seen the video here of Lynch trying to learn how to snowboard?
No, I have not.
Oh, you got to find it.
Lynch is making some incredible content these days.
You've got to find this video.
Yeah,
and it's like 2 minutes long, and you're gonna pee yourself. It's so funny
okay.
of watching him try to snowboard. It's crazy. There he is, Charlie Pops. All right, give me
this your Pops.
Oh God. And he did. That report, I remembered, looked just like him. Absolutely just like him. Let's go predictions real quick. Rams, Panthers. You Rams, right?
Rams, yeah.
Okay. Packers, Bears.
Bears. Not to just pick all the favorites here, but
I get you. Bills. How about the Bills? They go into Jacksonville, come over the win.
I think the Jags. are going to win that. Jags have something special going on.
Poor Josh Allen, man. I mean, they're all
1 year.
Lamar's
Lamar and
out,
Burrow.
Mahomes is out. Burrow's out, and he's going to get beat by Trevor freaking Lawrence and a guy that goes Duval. That dork. All right, so you like the Jags? Eagles at home against the Niners.
I'm gonna zig or zag or whatever. I'm gonna go 49ers. I think they're gonna be pissed. I don't have a ton of confidence in the Eagles.
Okay, Patriots, Chargers.
Pats.
Okay. All right.
And then I think the Texans will be the Steelers.
Oh, that's right. That's one more. Texans and the Steelers. I made this proclamation, not a proclamation. I made this statement, I guess, today, a favor and ask to the football gods. If, that's a big if. Seahawks and Broncos make it back to the Super Bowl. Wear the throwbacks.
Ooh, I like that.
Can they do that? Can they just
to?
petition to the league?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's great for everyone. Let's do it.
I'm into that. Both teams?
Yes, of course.
Heck yeah.
Great.
I bet they won't be able to, though. I feel like it's only in the regular season.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right. Where can everybody watch you, find you, listen to you?
You can find us everywhere you get your podcasts. On Spotify, you can watch us on video. On Netflix, go to Netflix, search Ringer, hit the little remind button because the Ringer Fantasy Football Show is going to be on Netflix starting, I believe, next week. It's soon. It's coming up. It's within like a week.
saw the teaser already with your boss. I already saw it.
Yeah. So go check that out. You know, see me in 4K. What do you think? I look good right now?
You look great. I mean, I tightened some things up a little bit, but you look great. Just a few things, but I think other than that, get in the gym.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey. Look, I say that as someone that never drives by it and waves. See ya. All right, Danny. Enjoy the games this week. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See you, man.
There he is, Danny Kelly from The Ringer, brought to you by our coverage of the NFL, Georgetown Brewery, Ringer NFL Draft Show, Ringer Fantasy Football Show, all things NFL, brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. I mean, come on, let's make our case. Grey Zabel, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Let's get it done. All right, on this day, January 6th, couple of notable items. Oh, happy birthdays on this day. I'll tell you that one. not a lot of significant things happened on January 6th. Well, except for this one. 1994. Actually, I'll save that one. 1995. Lenny Wilkins sets the NBA wins record for a head coach. He was coaching the Atlanta Hawks at that time. They beat the Washington, then the Bullets. He passed Red Auerbach, the legendary Boston Celtics coach. He ended up, once he retired, finished with 1,332 wins. That is now third all-time in the NBA. Second place going to Don Nelson, the longtime Warriors and Mavericks coach. And Greg Popovich is number one with 1,390 wins. On January 6th, 1994, I was in high school. I remember this story. This was reality TV before I think reality TV was a thing. It was this, and then later the OJ, all of the OJ Simpson stuff. But this was the incident before. It felt like before OJ. But did this happen before OJ? Yeah, it did. January 6, 1994. Nancy Kerrigan attacked by Tonya Harding's bodyguard at the U.S. Championships in Detroit. Shane Stant attacked Kerrigan as she came off the rink. It was planned by her ex-husband. Remember Jeff Gillooly, that idiot? Harding ends up denying in the beginning that she had a part in the assault, but later accepted a plea agreement admitting the cover-up to the attack. She says she didn't plan it, though, but the U.S. Figure Skating Association did find evidence that she was part of the planning. Kerrigan did not participate in the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. However, she was able to participate in the Winter Olympics. Harding, for what she did, was banned for life. Ends up I just did everything right. Lived in a trailer park outside of Portland, or was she in Vancouver, like Camas or something? Can't remember where she was at. Remember she did celebrity boxing, just a train wreck. All of that happening on this date, January 6th. All right, Hey, What the Puck is brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you, it's going to take care of you, any type of damage to your commercial or residential property. They're going to come in there and they're going to go from top to bottom. They're going to take care of everything and all of your needs. So reach out to them if you have any issues at all, mold damage, fire, water, anything to your residential or commercial property. Restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. All right, we'll get to it. We were going to get to it before this, but we'll touch on it now. This debate between Matt Stafford and Drake May is fascinating to me for the NFL MVP. See, for me, it's not even close. It's not close who the NFL MVP is. This has been now. Drake May has had an unbelievable season. He has been fantastic. But Drake May has not had to do anything or face the competition that Matt Stafford has had to face this entire season. And it's not even close. And some of the stats aren't even close, by the way, when it comes between Stafford and May. May's been great. May's been unbelievable, and he's gonna go on to, it looks like, to be a franchise quarterback for years to come. It's a great turnaround for the New England Patriots, and it's fine. But this is all East Coast driven by all the media back in ESPN wanting Drake May. Look at the guys they put on their broadcast. They're all expatriates. That's why Drake May has become this hot name to be the NFL MVP. Here are the numbers. You decide for yourself who the MVP of the league should be. Drake May, 4,394 yards. Matt Stafford, 4,707 yards. Now, May gets him in completion percentage, 72% versus 65. I would have you go back and look at the percentage of the throws, but both of those guys make. But he beats him in that one. Drake May, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Matt Stafford, 46 touchdowns and 8 picks. He has 15 more touchdowns than him. Passer rating, May, 113.5. Stafford, 109.2. QBR, 77.2. What was, you know what? I forgot to look up what his QBR was. We got caught up with so much, I forgot to write it down. What Stafford's QBR was for this year. Give me 1 sec. His QBR 71. So he beats him in that. Okay. Drake May did not face a single defense that was ranked in the top 10 in scoring all year long. Not one. In fact, they had the 30th they have the second easiest schedule in football. Did New England. They faced 3 playoff teams this year. Meanwhile, Matt Stafford faced, let's see, Houston and Seattle. Seattle twice, Houston once. Those are 1 and 2, the best defenses in the league. He faced the Eagles, the number 5 rated defense in the NFL, and the Jaguars, rated the number 8 defense in the league. 5 playoff teams. He played in the toughest division in football. They had not 1, 2, 3 teams finished with double-digit victories. This is not close who the NFL MVP is. It is Matt Stafford, and I understand why it's being portrayed in the national media, because it's just, again, it is ESPN. It is the guys they employ there. It is because it's all those East Coast guys that were in that division, and they're pumping up Drake May. It's all of those guys. This should be Matt Stafford in a freaking runaway, the league's MVP. He did not even comparable of the competition that he went up against, and he put up those numbers. And don't sell me this, well, he's been in the system for so many years. That's why, who cares how long he's been in the system for versus Drake May? He's had a better season against better competition. All right, that's it. That's my TED Talk. All right, that's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One. Look them up today, restoration1.com, North Seattle franchise. All right, thank you for everyone watching and listening to today's show. Thank you to all our sponsors, Limbeck Lumber, Flat Stick Pub, Georgetown Brewery, Restoration One. Today's Daily Puck Drop, find it up on YouTube. When you're there, please hit that subscribe button. Hit it. You may be watching the videos but not subscribing. Hit all those, hit that subscribe button. You'll get today's Daily Puck Drop on there, the full show, plus you'll get videos of just John Canzano up there, the Bald-Faced Truth, and Danny Kelly's appearance, all separated up there. Mike, the Dugar Report, Michael Shanugar is highlighted up on YouTube by itself up there on the page. So hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, please, as well. Leave a comment. Try to get to as many as we possibly can. Also find the Daily Punch Up on your favorite podcast platforms as well, Apple and Spotify. And you can find everything up at pucksports.com, including signing up to become a Puck Spotsy member. Becoming a member, you support all the free daily shows we do, support of Puck Sports moving forward. Plus, we give you bonus shows every week. Coming out later today, it's back on a weekly basis, the Sports Pit with myself and Matt Stretch Johnson. Wednesdays, you'll have Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish. Thursdays, KJ Arntz with Mitch Levy. And we produce the Graz with Gas Take 5 podcast, which is available on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Go check it out. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Wednesday's show, it will include the go-to guy is back, Jimmy Moore, Rob Staten talking Seahawks, and Ryan Divish is back after a couple of weeks off for another edition of Inside Pitch. We'll see you tomorrow. As always, we promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!